It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we got a can of Brewdog's Hazy Jane. You might have seen this on the channel a couple of times before. Once when it was brewed at its original kind of 7 point something percent ABV in the UK, and then they've reduced it down. I believe Hazy Jane now is between 5 and 6% ABV, might be a touch higher, but it's not the 7% beer it once was. It really isn't, unless you get a can from Ohio in America, which they brew Hazy Jane out there in their Brewdog brewery in Ohio, and the ABV comes in at 7.2% ABV. New England style IPA, 355 milliliter can compared to the UK version of a 330 milliliter can. So I'm interested to try this. I've already reviewed the American version of Lost Lager, and it was fantastic. It was really good. A good example of what a hoppy New World style lager should be from a company like Brewdog. It was exceptional. I give it a 9 out of 10, and I said it was much better than the UK brewed stuff. I much preferred it. So I've got my hopes up with this. I've got my hopes up, and I just think maybe it's the standard. Maybe the standard of American craft beer is going to elevate Hazy Jane, or the American version of Hazy Jane, to become a better beer, to compete with those great American breweries out there. Looks interesting, mind you, it does. I want to thank Leicester. Thank you very much, Leicester, for sending us the beers. Leicester moved from the UK, now lives in America. He was really interested to see what I thought about Brewdog beers brewed in America, in Ohio, Columbus or Columbia? Columbus, isn't it? Columbus, Ohio, I'm sure it is. Yes, Columbus, Ohio. I've never been, just, I'd like to go maybe one day, be great. Good carbonation as you rock the beer back and forth. It's hazy, almost like a hazy amber kind of straw-ish coloured beer. Looks really good. Let's get the aroma then on the beer. Yeah, completely different to the UK brewed stuff. The hoppy beer from Brewdog that's been brewed in the UK, Hazy Jane, Punk IPA, has this almost kind of synthetic, artificial flavour that comes through on the aroma and the taste. I can tell you right now, that's not in this beer. You can smell the hops. You can smell the fresh hops in this beer. There is some sweetness. There is that kind of American sweetness to this. American beers are generally sweeter than UK brewed beer. But isn't it amazing? Isn't it fascinating to stand here and drink a beer that I've drunk so many times before from Brewdog, but it be Americanized? It's almost like Brewdog know how to brew a good beer. Of course they do. Orange, touch of grapefruit. Sweetness, like a candied sweetness coming through, almost like a Belgian candied aroma to it. I'm really excited by this. Cheers. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Stone the crows. Stone the crows. What has happened to Brewdog in the UK? What has happened? Why have they chosen the route that they've gone down with their UK brewed beer? It's shocking because they know, you can taste it in the beer. This is fabulous. It's like the Brewdog of old. This is the Brewdog I used to stand and be proud of, and the Brewdog that I used to have this smile on my face whilst drinking it. Why can't I have this smile on my face anymore whilst drinking UK brewed Brewdog beer? Why is it taken? Why is it taken a British man that's moved to America to realise that the Brewdog in America is much better? Why is it taken it to send a beer right the way across the world for me to try here in the UK to go, hey, this is what Brewdog were all about. This is what they were all about, and what they should have been about, and what they should be about the whole time. It's so hoppy. It's so fresh tasting. There's some sweetness there. If this was brewed like this in the UK, I'd be buying it and drinking it all of the time. It must simply be tax reasons. It must be tax reasons. It must be either that, or the Americans will, when it comes to like New England IPA, when it comes to decent beer, the Americans will only kind of like go for a certain level of quality. They won't dip below that kind of like, you know, they won't put up with maybe what Brewdog have done here in the UK with their beers coming from such a great quality to them becoming just a mundane, like, ugh. I don't buy punk IPA anymore. I can't wait to get to the American. I got a can of American punk IPA at 7.5% ABV. I can't wait for that because I think that's going to be stonkingly good. But I refuse to drink punk IPA in the UK anymore. It's just dross. It's just horrible. This Hazy Jane, I do not drink UK brewed Hazy Jane. It's a horrendous beer in my opinion. But the American stuff, that would be in my shopping basket every week. It's tutti, it's fruity, it's sweet. There's a little bit of bitterness there on the back end. It's got some grapefruit, some orange peel, some fleshy blood orange. It's Brewdog of old. This has been such a fascinating look at these American Brewdog beers so far. I've still got two to go. I've got Elvis Juice at 6.5% ABV. I believe that was the 6.5% that it used to be. I don't think it's 6.5% in the UK anymore. And of course I got Punk IPA to go. This is fascinating. I'm standing here fascinated by the complete difference, the complete difference in quality. And I think that's why Leicester's centred. It's a case of, like, obviously Brewdog know that they're brewing a different beer in a different country, the other side of the world. And they don't expect people from the UK to try it. They think you can get away with it, but the internet's a beautiful thing, isn't it? The internet's a beautiful thing because there's people like us on the internet that go, hey, this isn't right. Why are we putting up with this? Brewdog Hazy Jane, American version of the beer at 7.2% ABV is an eye-opening, fantastic look at what Brewdog used to be in the UK 10 years ago. But they're still doing it in America. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for this beer. I think it's fantastic. I hope you liked the video. Thanks to Lester for sending. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.